Do you know what Second Life is?
Yes.
Do you know that this university has a virtual campus on Second Life?
Yes.
And do you know who manages this campus?
Yes.
Who?
Paco.
Thank you.
No.
Do you know what the Second Life is?
No.
Thanks.
No.
Thanks. Do you know what Second Life is?
Yes.
Do you know that we have here a campus in Second
Yes.
Life? Yeah. You have used it?
No.
Okay. How do you know that we have here a campus?
Because I received a mail to my my hotmail or to my
Your account?
yeah, to my account of the university, and I know it because of that.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hi Oscar, tell us about your experience in this kind of environments.
Experiences basically in two fields. One field is about teaching to people who wants to work in Second Life or in open virtual environments, and the other way is using virtual environments as common simulators to get experience in other fields of the technology and the science. So, for example, we have two courses, two years with people that knows nothing about programming, knows nothing about Second Life and virtual environments, and started working with computers, basically with 3D environments into Second Life. And the experience was very good because people in the first moment they say everything as strange and very complicated, but when they realize that things are very similar into the virtual environments that in common computer, for example, if you use Moodle, you have only documents like web pages or wikis, but all those items, all those things are only virtualizations of documents, of a piece of paper. But when you are into a virtual environment, you are working with walls, with spheres, with trees, with carpets. You are working with elements from the day-to-day life. So in that moment they realize that they love that. They like to build cars and bikes that can ride on, and they program those elements, those objects, and they love it because it's much funny to program a teddy bear, for example. It's much funny to make a teddy bear to speak that only say a program that is running on a screen and say hello, what's your name? So the final experience was very big. And in the second field of experience within the virtual environments was about simulation, or even more physical simulation. For example, in the master grade into the Carlos III University, we have an experience about simulating what happened to an object that is moving around all the time. I mean, we're working with spheres, with a simple balloon, for example, and that balloon is moving all the time and changing its orientation on the X, Y, Z coordinates. I don't know if I can explain it easily. So we are measuring all the time the orientation of that balls and getting the conclusion of how the shape of that object changes the way that object stands by this position. This is a bit complicated, but the idea is that replicate that experience in the real world is much complicated and much more expensive and even impossible. So about artificial intelligence, that is the most of the field that I'm in big experiences, is very very useful to can use those things for experimenting. It's much easier experimenting in the virtual world than in the real world. It's much easier and much cheaper.
And do you think that this experience is equal valid for another types of degrees? For example, literature, language, for blended learning especially. It's the thing that I am more interested, because we have here several blended learning degrees in which I think that this environment will be very useful. What's your opinion?
Is that I am very faithful with those kinds of environment, because the relationship with the people is much closer inside a virtual environment, just a forum or a Moodle environment. You can speak. I'm speaking with you right now, and I'm seeing you, your avatar, and you're watching me moving my lips. So I feel closer to you than if we're only speaking by phone. So I think it is very very important to people learning about anything, about history, about whatever, that they can speak, they can share a common environment. But I know that those environments are not very used today, because people don't get to use it in all this power. Are very underused. I don't know why, but well, I have some ideas of what is the reason of this misuse. Maybe that the technology is still in a very early stage of development. For example, we are using we are not using a web service. We have to download a special program and a client. That's the word. We are downloading a special client. You have to run it on a special computer. Has to have a very high graphical environment or graphical card, because the final experience is very bad if you don't have a good computer. And of course, much of the experimentation of the internet is moving to the mobile devices. And the truth is that there are no clients for Second Life or OpenSim that are running on Android or on iPhone. So this is our barrier. That's what we have inside, and the good news about this is that it's going to be broken, that barrier, in 1 year or in 2 years or even in 5 years. But this barrier, this frontier will be surpassed. It's just a matter of time.
Okay, Oscar, thank you very very much for your apportation.